First of all, people are using the word karma incorrectly, because karma is really about what happened in your past lives that's influencing what's happening now. Nobody really knows what happened in Wendy's past life. She probably doesn't know what happened in her past life, whether you believe in it or not, right? This is just one frame of thought. We don't know what happened. But I think what people are trying to get at is law of attraction, which is just one of the universal laws. And I would say law of attraction always applies. So yeah, Wendy definitely attracted dementia to her life because it's what's happening right now. That's just how law of attraction works. And I know you're thinking, oh my God, nobody would choose dementia. Nobody wants bad things to happen to them. And you're partially correct, okay? Nobody really chooses struggle on purpose. What really happens is most people are default manifestors, as Abraham Hicks would say. So you're kind of just going along in life, making certain decisions, living your life in a certain way, thinking certain thoughts repetitively, and then your life plays out the way it does. That's just how law of attraction works. I didn't make the universal laws. I just pay attention to them and follow them. And you're probably wondering, okay, well then what did Wendy do? Like, what did Wendy experience that would lead to her experiencing such terrible things right now, including dementia? This might be a good time to tell you, I love Wendy Williams. I have been obsessed with her and her show for years. I think if I met her in person, she'd be one of the only people that my heart would beat fast. I would definitely ask to take a picture, and that I might cry, because I am just so impressed with her and her life story and what she's been able to accomplish. So when I watched the trailer for her documentary, I definitely cried, because if you've ever experienced someone with dementia, like in real life, it is one of the most heartbreaking experiences. And if that person was someone that you knew before, like you knew how able-bodied, how bright, how quick-witted they were, watching them just deteriorate is beyond heartbreaking. And I don't know this one in real life, but it is heartbreaking to see her go out like this. But this is one of the extreme examples of when you make certain decisions, when you believe certain things about yourself, they will happen. So I'm not watching this documentary, okay? I don't feel like crying. But I have watched the movie that Wendy did, the other documentary that she did about like her life and, you know, being in media. And I followed her for a long time. I watched like all the after shows on her Wendy show. So I feel like I have some sense of Wendy. I've paid attention to a lot of what she does. And because of what I do, I think I see things in a different way than most people. So I've summarized 4 reasons why Wendy is experiencing a guardianship. Wendy got dementia. Wendy got divorced. Wendy has no money. I can identify 4 reasons why that's happened to Wendy. Number 1, Wendy grew up fat. And that is, I mean, the time of when she grew up, that's a whole other thing. Wendy was looking for love in all of the wrong places. Wendy used drugs and alcohol to cope with her thoughts and feelings. And Wendy lied a lot. So the growing up fat, I think as a person who's obsessed with food and also obsessed with not being fat, I've paid attention to a lot of what the experiences of people who grow up as a child who is fat, like that's already heartbreaking, right? That's traumatizing in a kind of way, because when you feel like you are inherently wrong for existing, and then your weight is the proof of, you know, how you don't deserve X, right? Whether it be love or kindness or a relationship or, you know, success. It really shapes the mind. Wendy's parents were, I think, atrocious to her when she was growing up. She's probably been on every kind of diet that you can imagine. That does a lot to a person's self-esteem. And then, you know, adding that it's a woman and the society is already hard on women because we're supposed to look a certain way, we're supposed to be a certain way. I think that just set Wendy up for a lot of pain and tragedy, right? So she's been upfront about her tummy tuck, you know, weight loss, like all of those things and what she's done to maintain her weight. I know she even she was on a vegan diet for a while, but she has so many disease, you know, patterns inside of her that the vegan diet really didn't work for her. That's one, right? If you just had that one thing, life would be, you know, challenging, but money exacerbates a lot of things. So Wendy's had some success. I think she had some difficulty in relationships, but when it comes to looking for love in the wrong place, I'm not sure because she was kind of tight-lipped about her family, like her sibling details, whatever. So she got along with them. There were some issues, but generally she got along with them. But Wendy also didn't have female friends. So when it comes to love, it's not just about romantic relationships. Even on my channel, I talk a lot about romantic relationships, but I really, really encourage you to also have friendships that sustain you, that really breathe life into you, that are outside of the requirements of a romantic relationship. Wendy had no friends. She had friends. She had like one friend, but somebody that she didn't see often. She could talk to some people, but I don't think she really, really, really had friends. I think she had a lot of people she knew. I think she had the one Reg, but in terms of like being loved on, genuinely, without anybody requiring anything of her, I don't really think she had much of that. And so then when she gets into the relationship with, Kelvin, I think the idea of love was, part of desperation. Like, love is desperate. Love is hard to get. Love is hard to keep, were some of the belief systems I think she had. So you would stay with a man who's kind of, right, not good for you. And we know now that, he was doing a lot of controlling things. He was lying to her. He was cheating on her. He had the whole baby on her. Like, there were just a lot of things happening in their relationship that was toxic. And then the next point, right? The drugs and alcohol. Wendy has been open about doing a lot of different drugs when she was younger. She talked about going to rehab for, alcoholism. She never admitted really to current alcoholism. And it really led me to question her authenticity, her transparency, because I could see something was going on. She's still like very entertaining, but I had wondered if she was one of those angry bosses behind the scenes. And some of the things, now we know dementia was probably part of it, right? But there are so many times, she was so nasty to Suzanne on camera. I've watched so many of her after shows. I know she could be rude and mean and snappy to people. So when people see that on, I saw a clip, I've seen a few of the clips, but I've also heard people talking about it, of her being like really mean to people in her dementia. People say that the true self comes out in dementia. I don't know if that's real. Your true self is light and dark. So you'll get a mix of both with a person who has dementia. I think it's just the quickness with which they go to the darkness or the shadow version of themselves when they're frustrated. Because when we're frustrated, we're not the nicest people unless you really, really, really worked on, being as kind and gentle, as not being, like all those things. But if she didn't do that before she got dementia, why would she do that after? Wendy was mean when she didn't get what she wanted. And so, of course, with dementia, she would also be doing that same thing. But the drugs and the alcohol, I think, also impacted brain functioning, right? A lot of times, alcoholism, which is the worst drug you can use, because it's the only one that will literally kill you if you stop it cold turkey, right? If you are drinking alcohol every day to sustain and you would like to stop, you need to be monitored by a physician, or else you could die. Like, really, you could die. All the other ones, it's just very painful, uncomfortable. You feel really sick, like you have the flu, but you are very, very unlikely to die. Alcohol will kill you. Will kill you if you stop using it. Will kill you if you keep using it. The health problems that occur because of alcoholism are surpassing what all the other drugs do. I'm just telling you, right? Alcoholism is one of the worst drugs you can become addicted to. And what it does is it distracts you from the rest of life. And so a lot of these folks who are alcoholics don't eat, don't get the nutrients they need, and so then their brain suffers. Add that to what may or may not be, something hereditary, and you have the perfect mix for mental health and a medical disorder. My last point about her lying, I think people think if I keep a secret, it doesn't hurt anybody. But secrets literally fester inside of your body. Now, what most people get when they keep secrets is cancer or heart disease or something like that. Usually it's a cancer, a slow growing cancer. Secrets fester, right? In Wendy Williams' case, she wasn't just keeping secrets, she was actively lying to herself, to the fans, to her staff, in trying to keep this facade that she was in a happy marriage and, you know, she had her son and everything was great because, you know, the show is the most important thing. When you live a double life, this is one of my newest theories when it comes to dementia. When you are in public living one life and behind closed doors you are living another life, I think this is just a Dr. Shareece theory. I think dementia becomes one of the ways you cope with the contradiction. And humans are contradictory by nature, right? You might say, you know, I'm love and light and peace and hope and all the things, and then curse someone out on the street or, you know, be mean to your partner or something like that. That's a natural, normal thing. The goal is to always be working to be better and better and better. But when you've made a decision that I'm going to put this information in one compartment, I'm going to put this information in another compartment, these two will never meet. I'm never going to talk about them in the two different spaces. I'm never going to tell the truth about what I am doing, what I really want. I'm never going to tell the truth. When you make that decision and then you live like that for years, we're not talking about, you know, this was 1 year of her husband cheating on her. Her husband was probably cheating on her for like a decade or something, right? She always knew. Not always knew, but she found out what was going on. But when you live a double life for decades, I think one of the ways that you cope in older age or when, you know, shit hits the fan, the big abruption was Kevin leaving her or her divorcing him, the baby, and then losing her show. When all of these absolutely terrible things happen in succession, what do? You break. You break. You have this opportunity to tell the truth. You could tell the whole truth. You could free yourself. You can soothe your soul. Or you break. You break because it's so hard to deal with because you've been in denial for so long. You've been lying to yourself and others for so long that someone telling the truth feels like it'll kill you. And so dementia is better than killing yourself, I guess. But I think it's one of the ways Wendy has chosen, not chosen on purpose, but one of the ways her soul has chosen to cope with life here on earth. I was talking to somebody last night, you know, who's like, I hope Wendy gets better. You know, I hope she lives to 80, 90. Anything is possible, right? But her diagnosis, along with, you know, what's being shown in the documentary, I don't see 30 more years for Wendy. Wendy's only 59. 59 is young, right? I don't see, sad but true, I don't see Wendy lasting another 30 years. I really don't. I think she fulfilled her purpose here on earth, right? I think she accomplished really great things. I think she got further than a lot of people get when it comes to your soul evolving, because most people stay the same until they die. Yeah, you know, most people just never really grow or evolve. And I think she definitely did some of that, but then she got stuck. Then it got too hard, and then she didn't really want to deal with it. Those are my thoughts on Wendy Williams. I do wish her the best. I do hope that she gets family support and out of the conservatorship, the guardianship, you know, that she gets her money. I hope all the things. Will it really happen? I don't know. Money is a hell of a drug. Money is an amplifier, and there's a lot of pain surrounding Wendy Williams. And so it's only natural that she would also attract other people in pain who don't mean her the best. But I wish her the best. I'm not watching a documentary, but I wish her the best. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like this video if you enjoyed it or learned something new, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.